Two Queens and Crystal
Welcome.
Things. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
The podcast where we are on some manifest your life.
Man, it is time to manifest, y'all.
Shift your mind.
Yeah, we're shifting right now.
And raise the consciousness type of shit.
Raise it up, raise it up, raise
Happy
it up.
New Year.
Happy New Year, you guys. How long do you all say Happy New Year for?
The first month. January is appropriate Happy New Year time.
Yeah, I would guess one day I was curious and I looked and I think they said like third week of January or something.
Third week of January.
Or if it's someone that you haven't seen
Since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, then you can
Good
say
point.
through the end. I don't know, but it's one of those things. Whatever.
Well, I'm Mia.
And I'm Christy. Sorry, we got off on a tangent.
Yes.
But that's what we do best. But you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour. So I am so excited to be back to season 3. You guys, man, 2022 has been...
The third.
It has been a...
We out here training it with y'all.
Man. Yeah.
222.
222. So last week we reintroduced ourselves, as there may be some new listeners out there, so we wanted to make sure that you guys knew a little bit about us. And then for those of you who have been listening to us since the beginning, we have had a lot of changes, a lot of shifts, some small, some large, but we wanted to share those, so I hope you all enjoyed that. Truth be told, man, we are going through a shift right now. Woo! That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Wait, can I mention? I forgot because Christy got me distracted, and she wanted to talk about the heart thing. I'm a fur mommy too, but I because River had an attitude with me because he felt in his spirit that I didn't talk about him and my familiar. So I'm a fur. I have since we started this, I didn't have River. River is
You didn't, yeah.
No, I got River in October of.
Was it 2020?
2020, so it's been over a year. I got my little baby. He think he runs the
River,
place.
Who likes to time travel?
He sure does. Oh, that's right. River likes to go with us on our journeys.
Yes, he does. A little portal.
So let's see. Before we get into the episode, I think we talked a little bit about like kind of New Year's, and Christy said she mentioned briefly. She said, "Truth be told, we're going through a shift now." So let's just say this.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go deep into it, but I think it's important to bring up because we talk about this all the time. Kind of as we grow and go, we share.
Yeah.
It's the energy, and I say for both of us, has been trying. I feel tried. I told Chris, I said, 2022, this bitch got hands.
I feel
like
challenged.
I need them to ring the bell. Like I need to go to the corner for a minute. Like, can we catch our breath?
Man.
She came in swinging, scrappy. She's a scrappy windmilling. She windmilling on me. I'm like, wait a minute, girl, hold on.
Hold up. Yeah, 2022 has definitely been, it has been a ride. But one of the things that I was telling me, I was like, well, you know what? Actually, we both said this. We must have a large blessing on the other side of all this stuff because this is, whoo.
Come on.
But, I will say, so I've been meeting with my angelic Reiki mentors on a weekly basis or every other week basis. And one of the things that she said is, like, even the challenging things that she has to endure or she has to overcome, she appreciates them.
Yes.
Because it reminds her that she's human. And she came here at this particular time to have a human experience for a reason. And she said this is all a part of her purpose.
Absolutely.
And she says that she appreciates
I get that. I
and
totally
when she
get
said
that.
that, I was like, wow, that's a really interesting perspective.
I totally get that.
So in one end I was crying like, oh, I hate this shit. And then the next end I'm saying, well, you know what, I appreciate this experience.
You know what, it's temporary.
It is.
And then that's one thing that I love about being the way I am in the journey. I have enough. I remember enough to know that when they say, "And this too shall pass," that's like a real thing. And I'm not in any rush to get out of any particular time, even when it's painful. It's like okay, because I know there's something for me. And until I feel like I've figured out what that is or it has moved away, I'm not rushing it.
Yeah.
So yes, Okay, so you guys, just so if you are feeling,
Man.
if you feeling the weight a little bit, know that you are not alone. Because I told Chris, I said, wait a minute, I had to have a minute because yesterday was 111. Because you guys, we record on Wednesdays. So yesterday was the 11th. I did have I had 111, 111. I took full advantage. Like, and I had to do it late last night. Like maybe 11:22. Because by the time I was able to disconnect from work stuff, and I was like, I need to make sure I do something for this. And I had to say, let me remind y'all what 2022 is for us.
Right.
So whatever we're supposed to get from these moments of, like, dang. Like, get your foot off my neck.
I'm like, can I get a breath? Can I just breathe? It's all good.
So yes. So don't you are not alone if you're feeling it too. Mm-hmm. So okay. So you guys. So this episode, over the break when we took a little break, we did a poll on our Instagram page. Mm-hmm. Follow us at 2 Queens Crystal Things if you are not following us. But thank you for those who responded because it was helpful. So one of the things we asked was, what topics do you want to hear from? One of the things that came up the most was manifestation.
Yep.
I know that we've discussed it before, but it's been a while, and I think that we've both learned a lot since then. And it's time to basically re-up and share. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, what I think is interesting is I think we've learned a lot, and we probably have a little bit of different approaches that both work.
Yeah.
So remember, you guys, we remind you, it has to be this way to this. It's the intention and understanding how to move energy behind it. But, I'm not going to get to preaching right now.
Whatever feels right to you. I think that's another thing, too, is that a lot of people feel like in the spiritual space, there are rules, like, with religion, this is what feels right and perfect for you. So what's going to work for me may not
especially
work for you.
In practice, when we talk about ceremony and ritual and the way that you speak and what you speak and what feels good, you 110% right, Christy.
Yeah.
So what were you talking about? You're going to say how manifestation really works.
Oh, yes. So, yes, we're talking about manifestation, you guys. So we say it all the time, manifest your life.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is a reminder.
Look, I'm like, it's part of our tagline.
Right. This is a reminder for me, too. Going through the challenges, I still can manifest my life. So one of the things that I will share and say right off the bat is manifestation really works. It really does. It really, really does. But I do want to make sure that I share a little bit of caution. I want to make sure that you all know whatever it is that you really, really, really want to bring into your life and that you really want to attract to yourself, really make sure that it is what you want. Make sure that everything that comes with it, that it is what you want. Because when you manifest and it comes true, you'll end up being in a position where it's like, oh, what the hell? I did not think about this. So be very specific, but also just make sure that what it is that you manifest, you really, really want, everything that comes with it. All right.
Okay. All right, so let's get real. And this is for us to share. What is happening in your life, or what you have in your life? What is, when you look at your life today?
Oh, it's a hot mess.
I know. I'm like outside of.
No, it's not a hot mess. It is.
Cancel clear this late. She didn't mean that.
It's a little challenging right now, but it's all part of my lesson.
But overall, though, seriously, we have the moments. We do have the moments, you guys. But when you look at your life as a whole, not necessarily with situations. Mm-hmm. What can you look in and say, like, I'm like, this is something I did that. She said everything.
Like everything right now in my life, everything from me ending or getting out of my second marriage, me doing this podcast or creating some sort of platform where I'm sharing stuff like this, me being with the person I am, me where I'm living, what I'm driving, like my dog. It's just Everything.
I would
What about
say
you?
I would okay. I'm going to go with everything, like the place, like where I live, like my home, the way it looks, my daughter. What I shared with you guys last week, just in terms of wow, the lessons I've learned over 4 or 5 years from a relationship standpoint. But specifically, I can and it's something like easy to share as I think about River. I remember. River is my cat, you guys. And I'm saying this because I remember before I got River, I was like, okay, my daughter was begging, like, I want an animal. And I know me, I don't want to go outside and walk the dog when you want me to. Like, y'all know I love going outside. I make it a thing to make sure I try to get outside.
But on your terms.
But on my terms, exactly. So I start looking up cats. And I had this image in my head of a gray cat. And I was thinking I wanted a Russian blue, but just a little bit fluffier, right? Just a little bit bigger, because they're very slender cats. I like kind of, I wanted a little girth on it. And I just remember thinking about this cat and what our connection would be. And we got our cat, River. And I totally forgot that I said this is exactly what I wanted. Because y'all know I'm a journaler. I went and looked at my journal, and I was, I almost threw the thing across from me, because when I say everything I said that I wanted is exactly what River was. And I remember going through PetSmart thinking, like, I for real manifested this. And that's just a very small example. Like, and a lot of things that I manifest aren't necessarily physical things. It's the way that I feel and the way that I see life. And when I think about overall, just like in general, I'm a very happy person. I manifested that. I'm like, I have, and it's not, and I feel like happy can be moment to moment. I should say I'm a joyful person. Like I'm just like, of course stuff happens that make you be like, that doesn't mean I don't get upset about things, but that doesn't, I don't let what happens to me change me. Like I understand that I have full control over what I choose to be is a joyful person. Period.
It's a choice.
And I feel like I manifested that. You know what I mean? I talked about this.
So when I was going through my divorce, or actually when we separated, I was writing down like, okay, well, whenever I'm ready, this is the type of partner that I want, because I wasn't really thinking of the person that I'm with now. And one of the things that I was saying is that like I have to be with someone who is funny. Because I like to laugh, I like to entertain, I like to make other people laugh. So I really, I want to be with someone who is kind of funnier than me,
Yeah.
And
but you're pretty funny.
You said what?
You're pretty funny.
Oh, thank you. Next show in 30 minutes. But no, right. So the person that I'm with now, I never really looked at him as being a funny person. But let me tell you how I am seeing a completely different side of him. We went to one of our neighbor's house, on Sunday. And, he had some drinks and, a little bit of, puff, puff, pants. He put on an entire show.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
In their apartment. And I almost peed myself.
Oh, I love it.
I do too, but I was like, okay, it's time for us to go. Because the dog was licking the woman's feet and she came off like she was enjoying it, and I'm kind of we're both high, and so we're both looking at this, and then her boyfriend is there, and he's kind of pretending like he doesn't see it, but I'm like, no, there's no way that no one sees this happening.
Right, you're like, and you know what? Finally, come on.
Finally, Jason says something. He was like, so no one sees anything but this dog. Like no one sees the dog looking at her feet. And then from there, that was all she wrote. He had me laughing so hard that night. But no, that was one of the things that I wanted in a partner. And so when you manifest things, sometimes it may come through, but not in the way that you expected it to come through. I think that's my long way of saying that.
I like that. No. I like that. So the reason I asked and I wanted us to bring it up is because when we're talking about manifesting your life, I want people to understand is not, I'm not trying to, when we talk about this, I'm not trying to give you theory of things that we haven't tested and haven't. This is a very real understanding. This is a very real thing. I think understanding and grasping that I have the power to control and create my life. Like, we talk about this all the time, like creating your life with your higher self, and it's co-creation mode. And the people that come into your life, the souls, these soul contracts that you have with people. Like, everybody, even if it's to try you, to make you remind yourself, wait a minute, hold on, I forgot who I was for a minute. All these people and situations and energies we understand come for a reason. And even with all of that, when I wake up in the morning, I'm super grateful, and I realized that I manifested all of this, like this building, even this view, everything. I mean, everything. It's exactly what I want it to be. And it's not like, okay, now everything's perfect, and it's like, and I'm still in the process of manifesting. And so I think when we're talking about 2022 kind of, trying to kick our butt at the beginning of the year.
We manifested it. Like, that's part of our...
Exactly.
That's part of what we...
That's part, yep.
That's part of
because
our
I know that this year, and, sometimes we feel like as soon as the year turns at 12:01, it's supposed to instantly be like, that's what it's supposed to be. So that's not what... It takes a little while, but one thing I do know that I know for certain is that all the goals that I have, I bet you I get them. I'm not worried about. I bet. Let me show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. So but it's because I've seen some successes in me manifesting. Mm-hmm. So that's why I asked that. Like, when you look at your life, what are you saying? Like, I kind of did this.
Yeah. Like, and then so there was this one post someone shared and said, for all of you small business owners, the fact that you took an idea or a thought or a desire that's not physical and then put it into something that is now physical, he was like, you all are the real MVPs. You all are the magicians. You guys are magical.
Yes.
And when he said that, like, it made me think. I was like, wow. So, like, even the podcast, this is something that we talked about. We had no idea what we were going to do with this. We had no idea how it was going to be. We had no idea if we were going to have fun with it. But it's grown and developed into something beyond that I would have expected. I mean, of course, I saw something coming out of it, but the business piece, your coaching business, working with clients. I mean, those are ideas that we had. It was that seed that started off with us. But now,
now it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
I just, Chrissy, I mean, like, so again, it's to show that it's real. It's real. We're living in it. And here's the crazy thing. You're living in it too. Mm-hmm. No matter where you are in your life, whether you want more, you desire more, you're not necessarily where you want to be. If you took some time and really thought about your actions and how you talked about what you wanted and what you didn't want. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when we're thinking about manifesting, you know what people do?
Think about what they don't want.
Bam. You think about what you don't want. It's like,
that was a lesson.
All I want, I don't care what it is, as long as it's not this, as long as it's not this.
Or I don't want this, or I don't want that. And
energetically,
you're calling it to you.
The universe's energy is not making a discernment between you saying I don't want or I do want. All they see is that's the energy because you're holding space for that. It's like, oh, so I'm going to keep giving you more. Mm-hmm. So know that where you are, you manifest it too. Yeah, even that, all that. Yeah. So, could you say, even if when sometimes, and sometimes you guys, that's difficult for us to handle or to accept because you're looking at, I did not manifest somebody lying to me or being abusive to me. And it's like, you might not have, that's not what you necessarily, and again, not purposefully.
Right.
Of course, that's not what you want. Of course, that's not what you desire. But if you focused on so much on what you don't want, you get exactly that.
Yep.
Because that's the energy that you're putting out into the world.
Yep.
So knowing that where you are right now in your life, look around you. Look at your friends, your partners.
That's all you.
Your home. That's all you. So now that you know that's all you, take control of that.
Right. So I had posted, I don't know if it was early this week or last week, but I was saying like we need to normalize taking accountability for ourselves.
Ooh, come on.
Like the reason why we are where we are, there's no one else to blame but us. So the choices that we made, the person that we slept with, the baby daddy we have, the bad relationship we went through, you know, there are choices that we made. The job that we're in that we really don't want to be with, the friends that we have that we really don't necessarily trust, but we feel lonely, so we decide to just stay with them anyway. Like these are all choices that we chose.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's time for us to be accountable for our actions and for our choices, because if you don't like something that's happening in your life, you have the power to change it.
Okay, so let's talk about, now that you know that, like seriously, that you have all the power, you have all the control, how do you harness that? I have the other bottle. How do you harness that, right? So, I want to encourage you to use your imagination. So listen, and when I say your imagination, I mean even that thing you had as a kid where you imagined things where grown-ups told you weren't real. That imagination,
Right.
Not the imagination that we have as adults with limitations, because we're going to talk about
only go
limiting
as far,
beliefs, right? But. Not the imagination. We say, well, that's not possible. And we start to kill things before we even let that whole vision come through, because it's like, that's not possible. How can I become a millionaire in the next 6 months? So let me just say, I want to make as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like we cut ourselves off, right? So, but I want you to use that child imagination. That go back to that young, the innocence of a child, where there's nothing you didn't. If someone asked you, could you do something, you don't care what it is. You would say yes.
It's like, I'm Wonder Woman. What are you telling me?
Right.
I am Wonder Woman.
Yes, I am. So that imagination.
Right.
Because visualization is so important.
It really is. It really is.
And a trick that I do is I do a visualization. So I did this last night. I started to put in my head as I'm falling asleep. You know when you when you sleepy, like I'm sleepy,
kind of like in between.
Yes, it's like I'm about to go down.
Yeah, it's about to be sleep right here.
What I do, you guys, I will visualize what I want. Yeah. Like right now, I'll make a picture in my head, right? And as I'm going to sleep, it's like I make it a part. It's like an intentional dream,
right?
But I allow myself to feel it like I'm the character in exactly. Like I'm watching, instead of watching a TV show, it's like I'm in it.
Right, that's you.
That's me in it. Mm-hmm. So then as I'm going to sleep, it's like almost like a lucid dreaming thing that I'm creating, because I'm being very intentional about my thoughts.
That's
so as I'm dreaming this all night. All I'm dreaming about and feeling and making myself a character, not just watching it like, oh, look at that girl, she's so lucky.
And then it feels good.
It feels
and then
good.
You wake up with that energy, and so then you're attracting all of those things to you because you're vibrating at that level. Oh,
so that's one way that I visualize.
I love
that. Manifestation. But then also I do, and Christy is literally sitting behind Christy. I have a I still do a visualization board.
I do crystal grids now.
Well, I definitely do those too. Mm-hmm. But we're just I'm just sharing like
whatever.
I'm
works.
a visual learner.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. So that it helps me to kind of see. So what I do is I have it over there. So I'm sitting here where I work at my desk, and I'm looking at that all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like so that's just so I have it there, but for me, visual work. So how do you visualize?
So for me, I am a visual person. I do at one point I used to like vision boards, but then once I got into crystal grids, I'm more attracted to those because those energetically resonate what it is that I want. Vision boards, I feel like it's just me seeing something and then the loop starts in my head of that thing that I'm.
Gotcha.
know?
It's
So
almost like
an energy.
I got you. It's like a energetic tag of what you want.
Yeah.
So when you look at that board, it draws what in your head it looks like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like what it is that you're dreaming,
But then
desiring.
but then the crystal grid, I feel like can be more specific, energetically, as far as like what it is that I want to attract to my life. Or maybe I'm taking all of these things, and maybe there are themes from your vision board that I might want to include in my life, and so I'll put that energy into the crystal grid. Okay, so I want a crystal that represents success. I want a crystal grid that represents being comfortable. Speaking or something like that, and then that energy will then resonate in my house. I don't know, but it's the crystal grids that I've found that I work well with, because I think vision boards, after a while my brain gets numb to seeing it, like, oh, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
So you know what I do? That's why you notice it's a cork board.
Yes.
So I build on my vision board. So if something is I've either manifested or is no longer, kind of in alignment, I take that off the board. So I was just showing you the stuff. So now I'm adding to it to this board.
So it's like an active vision
Yeah,
board.
it's an active vision board. So I don't. So. There's some things
It's a cutting the stuff out. I just don't have.
Okay. See, to me, I like that part of it. I know.
I can see you in that part.
I like that part of it. That's why I still buy magazines, and then I'll go on. But for me, and again, this is what works for me. I feel like the part of me doing it. Like doing the work to
That's
find
part of the energy too.
Bam.
No, that's part of the energy too.
Exactly. So it makes it. So it's. I'm connected to it. It's making it a thing. It's a. So I actually enjoy that part of it. It makes me feel like it. That's the part of the magic.
Yeah.
And so same thing. If I was putting together, a spell or some potion or something. Getting the stuff that I need for it to me is sourcing the stuff is part of the magic.
I don't remember who I was talking to. I don't know if it was you or if it was, I don't remember who it was. But honestly, just like having part in the process of it, putting your energy into it, that's what really helps.
Because you're thinking about it, right?
Right.
So, and this is the other reason I like, and again, for me, why I like the vision board, because it forces me to truly visualize it. So let's say I go through Architectural Digest. I love Architectural Digest, y'all. And I'm looking for, and I'm seeing in my head, like I know what I want this kitchen to look like in this home. It forces me to truly what do you want?
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to I could put any, there's a gajillion beautiful kitchens.
Right.
I love that design. But that's not what I want. But that process makes me goes through this is what I want. And now I have a for real vision. So when we go to the next part, which I think is the most important part, when not only seeing it, but feeling it.
That's huge.
How do you do this?
That's huge.
Or break this down. Explain from your perspective what this means.
So I will say that this initially was really challenging for me to feel what you desire because, as I was going through my healing process, I had to, and we'll talk about limiting beliefs, but I had to deal with some things that were hindering me from feeling as if I was worthy to receive the things that I desire. So feeling it at first was hard.
Oh, I gotcha.
But then once I got to a place where I realized, no, I am worthy of this. I deserve all of this that I have coming my way. Feeling it. So it's okay, think about the main character energy that we talked about. So who is this person? Who are her friends? What kind of life, what kind of life does she live? How does, think about putting yourself in her shoes. How does it feel to be this main character? Who is you? It's just a different it's an aspect of you that is going to attract those things that you desire. So for me, it took time to actually feel what I desired because I had to break through the whole thing of, I don't know if I'm actually worthy of having nice things. But once I got to the point where I'm like, chick, you are more than worthy of all of this stuff. You better get what you want. So then I was able to feel what I desire. It's like, okay, well, how does it feel? So if I want to have this house, like, how does it feel to be able to wake up and be in this house?
Yes.
Even though when I go to sleep and I wake up and I'm still in the same place, that's okay. But when I open up my eyes, I'm going to open up my eyes as if I am this person living in this house that I am wanting to attract into my life. And how does that feel?
So, oh my God, I love that.
So a lot of it's just, imagery.
Because again, so why are we saying this? Because again, everything is energy. Everything is energy. So feeling it attracts that energy to you. So, and that's exactly what it is. Like, what does it? How happy am I going to be? Like, I literally will. I can think about something that I want and get that and know how giddy I will be, and I will just be giddy for no reason. Just like open that. Just be so giddy and ready for what I'm dreaming about, even though it's not in front of me right now. And I know, and I mean, I can literally feel the energy like coming back to me, like whew.
Yeah.
So that makes me
helps. Like the feeling, and then honestly, like once you start feeling what it is that you desire, you start to feel like really, really good. And then you want to continue feeling good. So then you start doing more good, and then you're attracting that back to you.
Yes.
So it's a thing, like feeling.
And that's why, and we've talked about this before, why gratitude is so important.
Yes.
Because, here, just get them out, Jade. I'll figure it. Sorry, guys, we ordered sushi, and we're trying to.
I'm hungry.
We're trying to figure out whose rolls is whose. That's all the rolls?
I got my rolls.
You got both of yours, Christy?
Yep.
Okay, so that means that's mine. So switch those out. Okay.
But yeah, like, so one of the things that I was saying before is to really be clear with what it is that you want to manifest, because you have to be ready. Because, sometimes, like, honestly, with the universe, the spirit, God, whatever you guys want to use, you need to be crystal clear.
So, okay. So, wait. And I think this is why the feeling comes in. So, let's just say, I say, I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what, and that means that's pretty clear, right?
But what that's to
exactly
your mental health, to the detriment of
exactly. So that's why I think it's so important to feel what you want, because what emotions do I want to feel as a millionaire? I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel
ease,
like at ease. I don't want to I don't want to have $1 million, a few $1 million sitting in the bank, but I owe 3 times what I have. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think it's being clear on where you want that to come from. I don't want to, to the harm of none. Good for all and the harm of none. And if, if it's coming at the harm of someone, again, energy is energy.
No
that
bueno.
means it's going to come. I don't want it. Thank you, sweetheart. It's going to come back to me. You got your sushi? You got.
No.
Is there any more soy?
Yes, there's soy.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, feeling and being clear, I think, were big ones for me.
So to me, it's clear on who I want to be as a person, not just what I want.
Right.
Because again, that's for me. Because when I visualize what I want and how I feel, and how I'm going to feel, I of course, like for instance, that kitchen that I have right there. If it's a little different, because actually, I would change the lights, but there's something about when I saw that made me feel how I want to feel when I come into my kitchen in the morning. It's like, this is where I want to make my breakfast. This is where I want to make my family their tea and their coffee. This is where I want to be sitting at this counter making the ritual oils for people. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel when I walk in there. But could my kitchen be bigger? Because the reason I don't get exact is because I leave space
for more,
for the universe to gift me. I leave space for God to say, actually, I was giving you a kitchen 3 times that size.
Like I'm blocking
And I don't want to
blessings.
say, oh, no, it has to be exactly like this.
No.
I leave space for miracle. I leave space for shock and awe. I leave space for surprise. So that's why I say, when I'm saying be clear, I don't necessarily mean be exact. To me, it's more of,
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
you see what I'm saying?
So when I manifested my car, I was like, okay, I think I want this kind of car, or I think I want this kind of car. But honestly, I don't really care. So yeah, I see what you're saying as far as leaving
Right, it's not.
it open a little bit.
When you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, again, I might have some,
Right.
universe may be like, oh, that's all you wanted. I was, okay, well, here.
I was about to bless you times 20.
Right.
Now you done messed up your blessing.
Now, here's a good one, you guys.
Man, this speaks to my relationship now.
Attracted, not chasing. Let me tell you. Come on, Kirsty. Give it to him.
So, this actually piggybacks off of what Mia just said, is that when you're putting energy out there of getting more of what you don't have, the universe is going to give you more of that. God's going to give you more of that, what you don't have.
Yes.
And so, I was in this position where I wanted to be in this relationship, and I wanted to have this person as my, boyfriend or spouse or better half. And I wanted it so bad. But then I got to a point where it's just, I had to get to a point where I was comfortable letting it go and releasing it and just saying, okay, well, this is what I want, but I can't let it get to the point where it is, where I'm obsessed about it.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, well, it's time for me to walk away from it. And I really got to a point where I was letting it go. And when you release an attachment, it really sends a message to the universe. And I'm still in a position where I'm still learning about this. But it's basically like when you are so tight and like, oh, I need this, I want it so bad, you are constantly going to be in a position where you need it and you want it so bad. But then once you're just like, okay, well, it is if it is, and if it isn't, it isn't, then the universe is like, okay, well, you're nice and clear, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you.
Okay. So this you know what I think is we're going to use this example that you're talking about as a perfect example.